Oh. Hi, I'm Gwen. I'm a compulsive overeater, food addict. Oh my God, give it to me. I'm addicted to it. I just wanted to go over this 15 questions that OA hands out to newcomers so you can determine if you are. Didn't make a copy at the beginning because it says this series of questions may help you determine if you are a compulsive overeater, a compulsive eater. Many members of Overeaters Anonymous have found that they answered yes to many of these questions. And I used to answer them all the same. This time I answered them differently. And for obvious reasons to me. Um, the first one, do I eat when I'm not hungry? Yes. And it also says or not eat when my body needs nourishment. I have never restricted, so that's not me. But yes, I do eat when I'm not hungry. Number two, do I go on eating binges for no apparent reason? Yes, I do. And that's a present tense question. Do I? Yes, I do. It doesn't say have you in the past. It says do you. That means present moment. Um, Number three, do I have feelings of guilt, shame, or embarrassment about my weight or the way I eat? Now, I used to answer that yes all the time because the voices in my head were telling me, you're a loser, you're never going to get this, just give up. Well, I don't know why you think you're going to try. What makes you think you're different? And all this self-talk was always pushing me into feelings of guilt and shame. Well, this time I answered it no, because I do not have that self-talk going on that makes me feel that. So I honestly, in its present tense, I do not have feelings of guilt, shame, or embarrassment about my weight or the way I eat. I'm not embarrassed about it. It's just like, this is how God designed my body, and I'm accepting it just the way it is. So the fourth question, which I've never answered this way before, do I eat sensibly in front of others and make up for it when I'm alone? No. I've never answered that question with a no. I've always answered it with a yes because I had to pretend that everything was fine and I was doing fine and I would eat sensibly in front of other people, but I would eat, you know, off in the closet when everybody else was gone, when I could do it alone. And it was, sneaky and lying. This time I answered no because I am not making up for it and I'm not eating sensibly because the question before, do I go on eating binges for no apparent reasons? Yes. And am I eating sensibly when I do that? No. But do I make up for it later when I'm alone? No. So I've had a huge shift in my thinking about the things that I've been doing. The fifth question, is my eating affecting my health or the way I live my life? Yes, it is affecting my health. I have a Baker's cyst behind my knee. My left knee is like all swollen up. My clothes are too tight. I've had to buy bigger underwear for like the third time ever. When I first got into the program, I was crying because I had to buy bigger underwear. I was just in tears because I was so ashamed of it. Now I'm like, oh, I need bigger underwear. It's like saying, oh, my feet got bigger. I need bigger shoes. If your feet grow, you gotta have bigger shoes. Whatever. Um, so number six, when my emotions are intense, whether positive or negative, do I find myself reaching for food? Here's the key. My emotions are no longer intense. And I think this is the neutrality that we're looking for, is the neutrality with our emotions, that they don't get pushed one way or the other. Well, you can have neutrality with the food, but it's fickle. It's very fickle. You can be neutral one day and totally lose that neutrality the next day. But this is different. My emotions are stable and they don't swing wildly like they used to. So I answered this. I didn't answer yes or no. My emotions are not intense. So that answer is neither yes nor no. It's neutral. So I had to give it my own answer there. So the next one is, so here's the next questions. Do my eating behaviors make me or others unhappy? No. Even though I've been overeating and putting on weight, I was never unhappy. And you can think, oh, that's not possible. If you've never been there and never felt that, you can't say it's not possible. So no, I've been happy even though I've been putting on weight. I am not tied to my self-worth, and happiness is no longer tied to my body image. So that's a whole bunch of freedom right there. Number 8, this is a past tense. Have I ever? Yes, I have ever used diet pills. The other things listed in there, I've never done just because I've never had the money. If I had the money, I would have said yes to all of them. So that's a past tense question. The next one, do I fast or severely restrict my food intake to control my weight? No. And there have been a few times in the past that I have used like a restrictive diet that was like 5 days long. I couldn't do anything more than that. But that's a present tense question. Do I? That means, am I doing that today? Am I doing that as a course of my life today, right now? That's a present tense. No, I do not. Number 10, do I fantasize about how much better life would be if I were a different size or weight? You know, I used to do that. I used to do that. My thoughts used to be packed full with those kinds of thoughts. Ah, I wish this, I wish this, I wish this. I'm not having those thoughts anymore. Those thoughts are gone. And it's a present tense question. Do I fantasize? No, I don't. And if you've never been there in that spot, you can't know how it feels to be in that spot. Number 11, do I need to chew or have something in my mouth at all the time, like food, gum, mints, candy, or beverages? No, I don't. I used to chew gum. I used to do a lot of mints, eating, of course, eating candy. Those hard candies that you suck on, suckers. Even a straw to chew on, or a pen, which I never got into chewing writing utensils, but straws for sure. But no, I don't need to have those things to chew on. Um, I don't think I ever really answered that one yet. Well, yes, I did, because I needed to have food to chew on a lot. I liked carrots because it takes a long time to chew on those. So they keep my mouth busy a lot. So I used to answer that, yes, I needed to be eating something. But now, this is another present tense question. Do I? No, now I don't. Let's see, the last one. Have I ever, this is a past tense, have I ever eaten food from containers in the grocery store? Yes. Spoiled? Nah. Out of the garbage? Nah. But yes, this is a past tense. Have I ever? Yes, I have. So this was 2. Number 3 is right here. This is the last page. Are there certain foods I can't stop eating after having the first bite? Yes. And this is present tense. Yes, there are foods that I can't stop eating after eating chocolate, ice cream, honey, pudding, jello, oh my God, bakery items, pizza, potato chips, that stuff. Once I get started on it, I can't stop. Grapes, because they're hand to mouth. Popcorn, anything that's hand to mouth. Yeah. So that tells me not that that tells me the allergy is still there. There are certain foods that I know if I eat them, I won't be able to stop. Even now, even though I don't have the self-talk going on, that allergy is still there where I will continue eating those things if I start. 14, have I lost weight with a diet or period of control, only to be followed by bouts of uncontrolled eating and or weight gain? Look at the tense of this question. Have I, this is past tense. Have I? Yes, I have. Many, many times. Yes, I have. So that tells me the allergy was in control because I have tried counteracting the effects of uncontrollable eating with periods of strict control. That's trying to manage the allergy. So the last question, do I spend too much time thinking about food? Do I? This is present tense. Do I? Do I? No. I answered it no, because the truth for me right now is no. Do I spend too much time thinking about food, arguing with myself? I don't argue with myself about whether or what to eat, planning the next diet or exercise cure, or counting calories. No. There was a time that I was all over that question. Yes, yes, yes. Pass in the past. If the question said, have I ever spent too much time? I would say yes. But it says, do I? No. So this was a like a tool that they came up with like for newcomers to see if they are a compulsive overeater. And it's a self-assessment tool. It's like only you can decide whether you're a compulsive eater or not. So when I was somewhere, I had answered these questions differently than I'd done before. And I had someone say that that doesn't sound right because I've only ever answered them exactly the way I've always answered them. And I thought that too, but until this year, I've never answered these questions differently. So what I found out for me is that according to these questions, the obsession, the questions that have to do with the obsession, the thinking have been lifted. Because all the questions that deal with the thinking, I answered differently than I ever did before. All the questions that have to do with the allergy are still there. I still answered, like this one. Are there certain foods I can't stop eating after having the first bite? That has to do with the allergy itself. Yes, I still have that. That is still there. The stinking thinking thoughts are gone, but the allergy is still here. So I just wanted to go over this and record my findings, and because if anybody has actually filled this out and they've answered differently than they've ever done before, it's not because you're lying to yourself or confused. It's that other people don't know that it's possible to actually have different answers because you have had a psychic change or a change in thinking. No one can judge the honest thinking of another person. So if someone says, no, I've answered questions differently and I kind of got shut down that couldn't be right. You know what? If you know the truth for yourself, you need to stick up for the truth that you know is your truth. So that's all I wanted to share, and I think I'll close her up. And thanks for listening, Alice. I am always glad when you're here. And let me see if I can find
You're
how.
welcome.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. I'm finding it. Okay, there we go. Stop. Okay. Okay, bye. Next time.